Good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you must be staying home, stay safe. Fine. So let's begin with the chapter that is the socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. Although we have started this chapter, and I have told you that this chapter is divided into two parts. That is the first, the socialism in Europe, and the second, that is the Russian Revolution. So we have almost covered up the part, the socialism in Europe, and we are going to end up this part and we'll continue with the introduction part, even with some more part from the Russian Revolution. So let's start. I hope you must be having your notebook, textbooks with you, because we need your textbooks with yours. So let's start with the topic that is the support for socialism. Now, what does it mean? Actually, you know that socialism was already spreaded in Europe, and people started to form their own organization or own forming bodies just to help each other by the means of socialism. So there was one international body, that was the Second International. By the 1870, socialist ideas spread through the Europe. To coordinate their efforts, socialists formed an international body that was known as the Second International. Workers in England and Germany began forming association to fight for better living and working condition. Yes, this international body, yes, means I'm talking about the Second International, was a kind of inspiration for the other countries too. Means other countries too also started to form their own organization. For example, Social Democratic Party in Germany, Labour Party in Britain, and Socialist Party in France. Yeah, these were the parties which were formed in these following countries by seeing the Second International organization for the upliftment of the people through the process of socialism. Okay, and for your kind information, Labour Party, that is from Britain, still working. It is still working. Fine. However, till 1914, socialists never succeeded in forming a government. In Europe, represented by strong figures in parliamentary politics, their ideas did shape legislation, but government continued to be run by the conservative, liberals, and radicals. Now, what does it mean? Actually, after forming these many associations, after awakening the people, the socialists were failed in forming their own government in these countries, means the European countries. They were not succeeding in forming their countries. So uh, but there was a reverse condition too, and in one of the country they succeeded in forming their government. And I wanted the answer from you. Yes, you are correct. That is Russia. Yeah, the Russian Revolution, which we are going to start now, that is Russia. In Russian Empire, they succeeded to form their own government. Now, how? This is the question must be coming. So, for that, only the Russian Revolution topic we are going to cover. Finally, so whose government was there if socialist government were not there? So it was the government of conservative, liberals, and radicals. Fine. So let's begin with the Russian Revolution. I'll be showing you the PDF related to this chapter after covering the part from this textbook, and then we will see the PDF, so you will understand it better. So the Russian Revolution. In one of the least industrialized of European states, this situation was reversed. As I've told you, socialists were failed to form their government in many European countries. Although they have formed their association like Socialist Democratic Party in Germany, Labour Party in Britain, and the Socialist Party in France, but these were only the organization. Their main aim was to form their own government, in which they were not succeeded. So in one of the country, the condition was reversed, means it is written over here, in one of the least industrialized. Now, what does this least industrialized means? Very limited industries were there of European states. This was the reversed. Socialists took over the government in Russia. Yeah, Russia was the empire where the socialists succeeded to form their government. Now, students, why I am calling it empire? Because during that era, that countries, nation, these type of things were not that much common. There used to be the empires, big empires who used to be there. For example, French Empire was there, Russian Empire was there, German Empire was there, Austrian Empire was there. So these are the some example which I am telling you from the European continent. Now, though through the revolution, October Revolution of 1917, yes, the fall of monarchy in February 1970. No monarchy, यहाँ पे भी monarchy. Yes, here is also monarchy. As we had an explanation from French Revolution, there was also one monarchy which also falled, and here is also one monarchy after whose fall the socialists succeeded to form their government. Now, students, a question to you for a second, that when did the French monarchy fall? I will be waiting for you only for 5 seconds, and you give the answer and then check through my answer. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, the French monarchy fall on 21st January 1793. Okay, that was the time when the reign of terror started. Reign of terror lasted for 1793 to 1794. Chalo. Now we will talk about the Russian Empire. Now we need to know now what kind of background was there, why the revolution occurred. As we had done the study for the French Revolution, what kind of background was there, who was the king was there, what kind of empire he used to have, and what type of economic stability was there. So these all things we will cover up before reaching to French Revolution. So although it is clear French Revolution hua tha, and after that socialists succeeded to form their government. Now what was the storyline before this Russian Revolution? Uh, we have to look into this. So we will start with the Russian Revolution. Yeah, the Russian Empire in 1914. What was Russian Empire in 1914? In 1914, Tsar Nicholas II. Now, what does this Tsar means? Tsar is a term which is used for king. King, as we use Raja in Hindi for king, same Tsar is the term which is used for the king in Russian. So Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia and its empire. Besides territory around Moscow, the Russian Empire included current-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, parts of Poland. Okay? It stretched to the Pacific and comprised today's Central Asian states, as well as Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. The majority religion was Russian Orthodox Christianity. Yes, the Russian Empire was huge enough. What is Russia right now? Today, in current day situation, it was huge enough comparatively what it is in present. Yeah, it was comprised of many countries, as we have seen the names. So it was called a huge empire. Okay, and along in this, the maximum religion, the majority of religion was the Russian Orthodox Christianity. Now, here the word Orthodox means the kind of ideology where the particular person is very particular about the religion. So it was the Christianity, Russian Orthodox Christianity, which had grown up by the Greek Orthodox Church. But not only Orthodox Christianity, there were also other religions also, like Catholics, Christians only, Protestant, Christians only, Muslims and Buddhists. Okay, so this is the kind of scene I have created. That is the Russian Empire along with the religion it used to carry that time. Now here is a map you can see in which the Europe in 1914. The map shows the Russian Empire and the European countries at the war during the First World War. Now First World War we will cover up, but it's very far thing. Before that we have to do lot of study. We have to make a base for the First World War and the Russian Revolution. So we will go very slowly and steadily. Okay, chalo. Now next we will see the economic and what was the society structure that time, what was the economic stability, means income, finance. This we are going to cover up. So let's see. At the beginning of 20th century, students, 20th century means from 1901 to 1999. Okay, this will be called it as a 20th century. The vast majority of Russia's people were agriculturists. Yeah, many of the people of this population were engaged in the agricultural process. About 85% of the Russia's empire's population earned their living by the agriculture. Okay, good it is. This proportion was higher than in most European countries. Yeah, as you know that the Russian Empire was huge enough, and in that also 85% of Russian Empire's population was engaged in the agriculture. Obviously, if the agriculture is that much good enough, they must be the agricultural means a great exporter of many grains also. Means agar aapke paas agriculture is good, then you will be a good exporter for the grains. Okay, so that was the scene. Then, for instance, like France and Germany, the proportion was between 40% and 50%. Means in France, only 40% of agriculture was there, and in Germany, 50% of the land, all the population was engaged in the agriculture. Then what happened? Cultivators produce for the market. Yeah, market means for the business, as well as for their own needs. And Russia was the major exporter of grain. Yes, now we have reached to the point that it was the major exporter of grain. Obviously, 85% of the population is engaged in the agriculture. Obviously, they must be good in business. Then industry was found in pockets. Now, what does it mean? Found in pockets means kya? What does it mean? Found in pockets. Now, found in pockets means very limited at a very particular places. As we have pockets in our trousers now, like that, there were the pockets, industrial pockets in Russia. I hope you must have understood that what does it the pockets means. Prominent industrial areas were the St. Petersburg and Moscow. These were the industrial areas in Russia during that time. Very limited it was. So these are the places where the industrial sectors were there, means the St. Petersburg and the Moscow. Craftsmen undertook much of the production, and in that industrial sector also handloom industry was enough. Here it is being said that craftsmen undertook much of the factories production. Okay? Along craft shops, many factories were set up in the 1890s when Russia's railway network was extended. Obviously, if any country is developed with the railway network, their development, nobody can stop it. So Russia was there, and the railway network was extending. Because of that, there was a huge demand in steel, coal. These were the things which was extending, and obviously there will be a need of workers. So the people also joined in the industrial sector. Means now the industries are growing just because of the railway network is there extending. Chalo. Then what happened? Foreign invested in industries. Coal production doubled. Coal production doubled, obviously. And the iron and steel output quadrupled. Means usse bhi zyada badh gaya. By 1900s, in some areas, factory workers and craftsmen were almost equal in numbers. Chalo. Now, factory workers, those who are working in factory or industry, and the craftsmen. Craftsmen, please make yourself clear that it is handloom industry they are talking, means weaving and all. So they were equal in number. Okay, this we have talked about the industries. Okay, now we will see the PPT for today. What is the PPT? We will see the PPT related to the chapter which we have covered till now. Means the topic which we covered, the Russian Empire, the religions and the economy. Now here is the Tsar Nicholas along with his family. Tsar means the word which is related to the Raja or the king. Now, what was Russian Empire in 1914? Tsar Nicholas II ruled Russia along with present-day Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, parts of Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. It further stretched to present-day Central Asia, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. Russian Orthodox Christianity, along the Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and Buddhists, comprise the major religion. Students, you can take it as a recap for the topic which we covered today. So, side by side, you will be having a recap also. Okay, so this is the map it is given, what kind of Russian Empire it was there in 1914. Then Vladimir Lenin we will be covering on Monday. Okay, I hope you must have covered the topic. You must have covered the topic from your textbook by the reading procedure so that it will be clear and I just want your doubts to be continue on the Monday so that we will clear it. I just want your doubt. There should be no doubt with you to go ahead. Okay, don't carry any kind of doubts. You can ask me the doubts on WhatsApp also. Anytime you can ask me. You just text me or else voice message also you can send me. I'm trying my level best to sort it out your doubts. Okay. So for today, this much is there. Thank you and have a nice day.